Hello and welcome back to the Ad Race podcast. I'm Fayola Douglas and I'm joined by Chris Maho. Chris is an Afro-Spanish comms professional who is very passionate about PR and influencer marketing. His experience includes working with brands such as Deliveroo, Snapchat, Stanley 1913, Ray and Nephew, and Candy Crush. As a cultural enthusiast and publicist through and through, Chris leaves no stone unturned when securing incredible coverage for his clients. His media relationships are second to none. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, thank you, Faye.
So, Chris, I know you grew up in Spain, but you made the decision to come to London right before the pandemic. What really motivated you to make such a huge move? And also, it was obviously it was the calm before the storm, like before the pandemic. So everything was good then.
Yeah, I can't remember life then. Well, I moved to London because the year before I had come for like a little holiday for it was 2 weeks in London, and I landed, and so I was grow up. I was raised in Spain, in Madrid, not diverse at all, and I was used to it. I went to a Catholic school in which I was pretty much the only black person, and like that was the normality for me, and like I was happy. However, when I landed for that holiday and I saw at Gatwick that the police officer was back, I was like, I think I landed in Nigeria, not in London. so, so positively, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing here? And then leaving the airport and like just exploring the city and seeing people that look like me living normal lives, if you know what I mean, and like having these roles across like all the sectors was just
Yeah.
really empowering. And also the fashion sense of London, like obviously one of the capitals of fashion. I really enjoy fashion and I love how people dress here. Just whatever your style is, you just wear it. I was like, I think this is my place. So I went back to Spain, and I remember I was not 17 then, so I was just about to finish high school. I told my family, okay, I'm gonna finish high school and I'm gonna move to London to study. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because the thing is, my family has this like path that you follow, which works, and like we're grateful because obviously it took them years to build it for us. But
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to London, and they didn't believe it. And then in November, my dad was like, yeah, you need to go to this university to like have the interview. So I was like, no, cancel that because I am going to London, and here I am. I did move to London indeed.
So were they supportive? Because it sounds like your family are very hardworking. They're very into like, I guess like a typical route through education. Like how were they with you to start like
Yeah,
making your own choices? I guess you were an adult, so you were able to take a different path, but were they supportive eventually?
eventually, yeah, heavy on the eventually, heavy on the eventually. I think my mom believed in the journey because she knew that obviously I've had a life where I've had to like move to Guinea and then move back to Spain. So like all these experiences have built character. People call it being mature. I call it a bit of trauma, but fine. So she knew that I was able to come to London and be responsible with the journey. However, my dad was a bit more strict with it. And I think as a second gen, you have this pressure of like constantly having to over deliver and like you need to be a lawyer, you need to be a doctor. So not only I'm saying I'm moving to London, I'm saying I'm moving to London to study fashion journalism. That was like I've been too much for my dad.
So how did you come to the decision that you wanted to pursue a role in PR?
Well, this is interesting. So, I started an internship very randomly. As saying, I was studying fashion journalism, and then at the communications department, portal, they used to always just drop opportunities. And I saw one that was about an internship in PR, and like I knew that I wanted to do my internship in my first year of uni instead of like waiting to like later. So I was just like, yeah, anything and everything, just bring it my way. I'm gonna apply. Did the interview, pretty much bullshitted my way through it, but it worked. I got the job. And then I was working there for 2 days a week for 3 months. And I'm not gonna lie to you, those 2 days a week were just the best days of my life. Like I was just really looking forward to going to the office. And obviously as an intern, I was doing like all the mailers and like all the coffee
Yeah.
runs and like all of that. But I was happy with it. And then I think the team saw that in me and like and also I was actually asking for it. They started to like bring me into more research and like more sellings. And I realized that I am a PR heart. So with my confident self, I started DMing the CEO of the business, and I was like, I really like to be in here. Please, can I have a job? And then he was like, okay, well, let's chat. I finished my internship. He dropped a call in my diary, and then he was like, okay, we really want you to stay, but we don't have a. It was a very small agency, so we don't have a role at the moment. But within 4 weeks, they emailed me back offering me a full-time role, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And thank God I did that internship, because that's when I realized that this is what I want to do. And having that energy towards my entry level role then was just, I think, the post to just like continue doing the best that I could and enjoy the journey and learn as much as I could. Because obviously I didn't study PR, so that was my training plus building your career moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it, love it, love it, love it.
So does that mean that you stopped doing your course, or were you trying to balance them both? Oh, you
Yeah,
stopped.
I'm a dropout.
That's a big move.
Yeah, I did try, because again, remember, I am doing all of these here. Yes, I'm saying to this one I want to work, but how am I gonna tell my parents I dropped out of uni because I want to continue working in PR? And I'm not gonna say you don't need to study PR, because please educate yourselves and like train as much as you can, but there's a lot of things that you learn by doing, and I learned that. And obviously I was doing like a lot of training, and they were really supportive with the journey, so I did try to stay at uni for one more year, and it was just not working. And I was like,
Yeah.
I want to, if I'm gonna do something, I want to give it my best. And that was not a moment, especially with the pandemic, where attendance at universities was not flexible at all anymore after the pandemic. So I
Yeah.
just couldn't balance both. And uni is expensive. I'm still paying for it. So I was like, I'm not going to spend £27,000 just on not going or not
Yeah.
engaging with the course. Yes, I wish I graduated, but I guess there's a lot of like ideas in my head as to what I can do now, especially with the experience that I have, and like how I can like, mix and match something and get something else. But yeah, I did drop out of uni to pursue my career in PR. Do not regret it. Do not recommend it either.
So obviously you had a love and a passion for fashion. You studied it for a while.
Yeah.
Is that something that you still draw upon in your work that you do now and things that you pursue in your life now?
Yeah, thank God. I work in consumer PR. So the good thing about it is that it is intersects with different fields. So there's been many instances in which I've been able to use my fashion journalism knowledge, or like fashion passion. Like we work with Christian Cohen for Candy Crush. We love Christian Cohen. We work with Close Surgeon for Snapchat. So those like different moments in which I've been able to just really embrace the fashion element of the campaign and like enjoy it. So yeah, thank God life has like maintained those moments that actually bring me a lot of joy within my career through fashion. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like when looking over a portfolio of PR work, you can see where they've had somebody on the team that has like a personal passion for those areas, and it really shines through because they can bring in those different communities that they're actually part of rather
Yeah,
than just trying to fulfill the brief.
exactly, definitely. And the good thing about like the agencies I've worked at is that obviously you have the creative team that pretty much like leads the creative, redundant, but they bring on the accounts team as well, and they let us add our input and like tell them things that they might not know. Like obviously I have my experience particularly is completely different from everyone I work with, because like I've lived abroad, I've lived in Guinea, all of these things. So
Yeah.
the fact that they open up and like they listen to what we have to say is really valuable, because then it ultimately brings a different result from what everyone else that has the same life would bring.
Nice. And so when you were working in PR, you've worked at Talker, Taylor, Troublemaker. So was
Yeah.
that where you done your internship, or was that the role that came after? Yeah.
Both, yeah. So that's why I did my internship, and then I started there. So you could say I was at Tucker Taylor for 2.5 years. So for me, intern to senior account executive, so pretty much all
Yeah.
my junior life, and I loved it there. It was just a unique agency, highly diverse. I think that's one thing that set us out. Like it was just different. You walked into that office and you knew that you were in East London with like different characters, and everyone was just unique, have a different experience, and that's what made the agency amazing. Yeah, unique.
And can you tell us about some of your favorite projects or like memories from that time when you were working there?
Well, actually, this is so funny. Well, it's not funny, but I've never watched Friends. Never. I've tried.
Now, not even now.
And
Okay.
I've tried. Oh my gosh. But the thing is, I know that is such a cultural moment. And you know one thing about Friends? I hate it because every time I sit in a brainstorm, they're like, so you know that episode of Friends? I'm like, no, I do not. I don't know it. I actually don't. But anyway, as we were coming back to the office, and we launched this campaign around Ross Geller. He has this sandwich on one episode. Surely you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I do. I know.
well, I didn't.
The is it called the moist maker? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we had to talk about like we had to basically launch it, and it was just such a cultural moment because everyone, like our target audience for Deliveroo, understood, like got the gist. And just one sandwich got on like publications that we sometimes struggle to get very easily. And like people were actually emailing us to get samples. So I think that was just a really cool moment. And another company that I love was more like was more purpose led, and we launched a van that basically was picking up food from everyone in the UK to donate it to the Trussell Trust. Because again,
Oh, that's
sometimes you might
nice.
want to donate, but you don't want to go to the food bank. So we're like, okay, it's fine. I know that you have tins in your cupboard. We're gonna come and collect them and like just actually give it to people that needed it. So yeah, those are my two highlights from Mathematical Taylor.
Yeah, that's nice. It seems that they're like from like both ends of the spectrum, like heavy consumerism, and then you've got something that's really purposeful, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, do you have any pivotal learnings from that time? Like, was there anybody you worked with that you found really inspiring, or something that you've really taken forward in your career, whether that's like discovering a passion or discovering, I guess maybe an area that you wanted to focus on more? Was there, did it set you off in any trajectories?
Yeah, well, definitely on the influencer front. So as one agency, we had to do pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So it was not like one of those cases in which you have a team specifically for influencer and one for press. So the fact that I got to get my hands on influencer work made me realize that actually not only I want to be an influencer and I'm not one, but I want to actually work with them. And I brought that to my current agency, The Romans, and were they listened to what I needed, and actually now I manage one influencer account. So I think it was something that I learned from that. And if I have to flag someone, it would be Lucy. She used to be my manager there, and now is one of my closest friends. And like me, she didn't go to well, she actually just didn't go to uni, but she was my senior, and she was thriving. Like now she's a senior account manager. Um, so she was like my safe space for the good and for the bad. And like whenever I would feel a bit, that imposter syndrome that sometimes kicks,
Yeah.
she would listen and like she would actually guide me through it. And she was one of my biggest supporters when I said I was gonna drop uni. And not only I'm gonna drop uni, but I'm gonna thrive in what I'm doing instead. So yeah.
Nice. It's nice to know that you had that support system, especially being away from home and kind of in a new city. Having that
Yeah,
person at work that was really rooting for you sounds like it was a really positive force.
absolutely. We love her.
And so, do you have any advice for anyone who's in a similar position to the position you were in previously? So maybe they're at university or deciding should they move countries, like what would you tell them if they were like really thinking about making that step into PR?
Definitely ask, ask around and network, because everyone can give you a different perspective. Obviously, each agency is different. Um, I wouldn't recommend anyone to drop out of uni. I feel like that was the case that worked for me, but I always encourage like my nephews and like my cousins and my friends to focus on their studies. Um, but once you have something that you can show everyone that I can do this, and it's a piece of paper, yes, but it serves as a proof that you can do something. Once you have that, definitely move abroad, sorry, because you grow instantly. I I cannot express how much I grew in the first year living in London, because you have to speak a completely different language
Oh, yeah.
24/7. 24/7. You have that now. You don't have mom and dad. Like, you have them on dial speed, but you don't have them at home that are gonna come and give you
Yeah.
advice, etc. So, like, you build this character and you discover how independent you can be, and how resilient you can actually be as well. So yeah, I would say make sure that you have a solid foundation that you can take elsewhere, everywhere, but don't be afraid to take the risk within reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like moving meant that when it came to those times when you needed to make your own decisions, you really were relying on your own instincts and making those decisions for yourself, and no one else was then in your ear, like changing your
Yeah, yeah, definitely not. I mean, I have a really strong support network in London. I'm really grateful for that, because as a city it can be quite isolating, especially if you are
mind. Yeah.
from abroad. But I have a friends that when I needed, I talk to them, etc. But yes, in those there were times in which, yeah, I had to make the decision, and thank God most times I made the right decision. Sometimes you don't, and you learn from that. That's fine too. But yeah.
And what about the fact that you got an internship during the first year of uni? I've heard that this is the best way to do things, that people should be making sure they're getting into workplaces, actually discovering those fields and seeing if it is something that they want to do. Would you advise that? You're saying people should maybe carry on with the studies alongside, but like, should they be trying to get internships early?
Absolutely, yes. The more work experience you can, and I've seen it now, both as an intern and as a manager to the interns. There's a huge difference between someone that lands their for work experience opportunity after graduating versus someone that has had some previously. Because I think it's a practice from what you are learning in uni. It's pretty much needed, and it also gives you that. It helps you start building that work ethic, being responsible, and like holding yourself accountable with your career actually. So yeah, I will highly recommend people to start exploring work opportunities. At least like 6 weeks during summer, you have that instead of going to Ibiza. You can just get yourself something at an agency, and like learn about the industry that you're ultimately aiming to enter.
So I'm guessing, like, during this time at Talker Taylor, you've been there for a couple of years. You probably were feeling quite comfortable. You were rising through the ranks. Like, why did you decide to make a change?
Well, if I take you through this story, I did not decide to make a change. I was forced to make a change.
Oh, okay.
So the company unfortunately went into administration, and everyone, obviously,
Everyone was making a change.
everyone, pretty much, that's the team, yeah. Everyone was making a change, and God is always by my side.
Yeah.
He was like, Chris, I see you. We're gonna make this work. So obviously I couldn't now tell my family, oh hi, do you guys remember how you were telling me not to move to London? And I did. Well, now I don't have a job. No, I couldn't do that. So when they gave us the news, I cried for 20 minutes, because you have to do that, the protocol. But then I was like, all these recruiters that were emailing me, offering me opportunities when I didn't need one, I was on their case. I was like, yeah, I need a job, please. Thank you very much. And I think actually all my colleagues do, so reach out to them as well. And they gave me, on the same day, they actually secured an interview for the Romans the next day. Did the interview and got the job the next day. So I was unemployed for like 20 hours. Oh, and I was like,
Oh, that
okay.
was, you moved fast.
I was like, yeah, God is good. And I think everything happens for a reason. This is not a new thing that I'm saying, groundbreaking, but it actually does, because I appreciate my time at Tucker Taylor, and I learned a lot from it, and I will always be grateful for it. But moving to the Romans, the Romans, it was just a
It was a
big
bigger
change,
agency, bigger
bigger
projects. Yeah.
bigger projects, bigger teams. So obviously navigating, working with, now we're over 100 people. Back then I think it was like 60 or so, but still it was way more people than what I was used to. So like that change meant a lot for me career wise. It was just a change. I'm not gonna call it an upgrade, but it was just a big change. And I am grateful for that, because one, I settle. I feel like if an agency had a character, I would be the romance. Like we are very bold and we are very unapologetic and like we are very confident. And I just felt that it was the place for me to land, and I just love it. I'm obsessed with the romance. I love my job. Sorry,
We can see you've got your the Romans top on
period.
merch.
Merch. Hashtag product placement.
So you're account manager at the Romans. Can you tell us about your current role?
Yeah, well, I actually recently got promoted to account manager as of May.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I work across Deliveroo, Snapchat, Stanley 1913, and Ray and Nephew. Well, Campari, so Ray and Nephew Magnum. So different brands that I or people around me use. Like I'm always on Deliveroo, so I know it as a consumer. And a fun fact is that I've had Deliveroo since my time at Circuit Taylor, so they were my very first client. So I kind of like know everything,
Yeah.
the ins and outs. So it's obviously quite like as you know, like account manager is quite it has a lot of responsibility because I have to manage down but also manage up. And I just feel like I was meant to be an account manager, and I'm really enjoying that journey and like taking the good and the bad that comes with it, and just using the bad to like learn and making sure that it doesn't repeat itself. So yeah, I just love it. Pretty much leading like the pre-sale phase, when it comes to influencer work, like leading the influencer activities, so like all things from seeding to identifying the right creators to partner with for paid campaigns, building those relationships because I think it's very important as humans to just have relationships, and then we can bring that into the workplace and just build something long term with a brand. So yeah, I am enjoying it. Going on those media mates and going on those lunches. Yeah, come on.
So apart from the lunches, is there an aspect of your work that you enjoy the most, or something that you can really see yourself, I guess, developing more as your career goes on?
Uh, the influencer marketing element for sure. I think I've always been really good at publish like the more the media relations side of things, and I love it, and it's a core side of PR. But I also think that I have done it, and I was very vocal about this with my team, my line manager, and she listened, and she now gave me more influencer work. And I feel like everybody needs to know about influencer these days because they bring so much value to the table, well, to the brand. Especially if you have like creators like Melissa's Wardrobe, who is highly influential. Like I buy the things that she tells me, so I think there's a lot of power in that, and I would like to explore a role that's more centered around solely influencer marketing and creator partnerships. Absolutely.
So I know that the Romans, you've won quite a few awards. That I feel like I hear the Romans are winning an award like every other week. But do you have a really proud work related moment that you can share from your time that you've been at the Romans? Something that really stands out to you?
Uh, how many, to be honest? Well, we launched again. This is a bit um uh purpose led. Um, but we launched the Black Pound with Ray and Nephew. So obviously, it's not news to anyone that when it comes to black businesses, we don't receive a lot of funding, we don't receive a lot of support as well. Um, and we, with the Black Pound Act institution, we released a limited edition Black Pound to kind of like raise awareness around how you should actually be supporting black businesses. And that is part of a larger kind of like area that Ray and Nephew has, which is called Ray Forward, and it's all about encouraging black businesses to come over, receive mentoring, receive funding, boosting their skills, and ultimately boosting their business. And it has grown so much that we actually now have our own Ray Forward power list. So think about like Forbes list, etc. And just be leading that and like being part of that side of the business is really fulfilling for me as a black person with black business owners as parents as well. So yeah.
Very nice. And then with the Romans, I guess, like how has the Romans as an agency changed over the time that you've been there?
It's grown. It's just growing and growing. The good thing, and I'm grateful for that, is that as much as the team is growing, they're still making sure that the culture is there and that it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like a cliquey space. We have lots of like networking opportunities. We have a book club, we have a football team, we have a paddle team. So like all these opportunities for new people to actually get to know each other and like get to know the wider agency. So yeah, we actually even have a pub internally. So if you need to have a chat with someone, you go to that pub and like chit chat and have a good time. So I just love the fact that as much as it's growing in terms of numbers, it's not splitting the team at all.
Brilliant. And so I know that your move to London like was partly inspired by the fact that you saw that there was like a rich, diverse like workforce and landscape here in London. And I know in January you became chair of the UK Blacks Comms Network Digital and Social Influencer Marketing Community. So it's a bit of a mouthful. Um, can you just explain what the UK Black Comms Network is, and then we'll go into talk about the role you play in supporting that community?
Yes, the UK Black Comms Network is a network that has over 400 members and is here to one help members networking, but also for like mentoring opportunities and providing opportunities. In an industry that is not diverse at all, it is very important that you have a space with people that look like you. Obviously, we all still have different experiences, but it will be easier to relate or at least being able to advise, and that's what it is there for. And yeah, just I started as a member. I just really really loved the concept and like I enjoyed the benefits of being a member so much so that I felt that I needed to give them something back as well. And yeah, I wanted to just be more involved in it.
Yeah. So as the chair of the digital, social, and influencer marketing community, what does your role look like doing that?
Yeah, well, it's pretty much we will call it a subgroup, which is very specific as
Yeah.
well. And we don't have lots of members on it, but it's more so like if anyone needs anything, anyone has any questions, or if there are any opportunities related to that side of the industries, like job opportunities or lecturing opportunities at universities. We actually just secured one with City London. So it's more so supporting them, and if anyone needs like advice as to how to do their job, if you know what I mean. Obviously I'm not their life manager, but if anyone needs any advice in their career, we are just there to support. And like me chairing, I'm literally just chairing it. There's people that are way more senior than me there, that there's founders in there that have all this knowledge that is actually also beneficial for me. So just
Yeah.
it's nice to have that space in which you can specifically talk about something that today is still a bit niche and just like have that advice and that support network. Absolutely. I love it.
So have you enjoyed being a member of the network so far?
I have loved it. I'm also the social lead, so I think all the social content and like seeing because everything comes to me to post, seeing the work that people do is just insane. I just love it. It makes me feel really, really proud because yes, I've been here for 5 years, but I still feel super proud when I see a black person, leading a conference or being a panelist at a conference or winning an award or being in this like power list that PR Week and all the industry publications make. So yeah, it's been really rewarding, and I try to like build into that with opportunities like the BCN co-working search. So I realized that yes, the network has 400 members. We have networking opportunities, but maybe not everyone can make it to those, or you don't get to chat to everyone in those. So we launched these sessions that are once a month. We will take over a spot in London, let's say like the Stratford Hotel or whatsoever, work together and end the day with like co-working drinks, after work drinks, and just like
Yeah.
chit chat. And actually, I know people that have become really good friends after those sessions, and now they spend like birthdays together, etc. So yeah, it's been a really rewarding experience, and Cam, the founder, really trusts me, so it feels nice because this is her project. Like this is all her, So the fact that she trusts me to do that is just amazing. I love it. I love PCN. If you
Yeah.
didn't realize.
So I joined this year and I went to the summer mixer and also I went to another other another speaking engagement. I just feel like it is such a welcoming community. Like you'll get to know a few people and then they'll introduce you to more, and it just feels like when you walk into the room, it's nice seeing some familiar faces. It doesn't feel very cliquey, and everyone's open to helping people whatever level you are, like whether someone's just starting out in the industry or someone's really senior. Everyone's
Yeah,
really open to talking to everyone. They're not just looking for the conversation that's going to get them ahead, which
exactly, pretty
sometimes you
much.
feel like in other networking situations.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the experience. And I think a good job that we make with networking is that it's not only your average come to drinks at one office. Which we do that as well. But we sometimes go to like the cinema. Now right now we have a bowling scheduled for September. So like all these more informal, relaxed settings for you to actually come through as you are. Obviously, you are here because you are a comms professional. We know that. But who are you? Let's just chat and like have a good time, and ultimately that's going to convert into something else if it has to.
And so, based on your past experiences, do you feel like the marketing and advertising industry as a whole is diverse? How do you feel about the whole industry?
Oh, absolutely not. And there's stats that actually confirm it. Actually, the UK Black Comms Network has a full report at the website that reconfirms what I'm saying. Um, and I think I've been very vocal about this since the beginning of my career, and slowly, very, very slowly in these 4 years, I've seen some change. But overall, from the press perspective, to the agency perspective, to the in-house perspective, and even to the creator industry itself, there's still a lot of like gaps between Black people and their counterparts. And I think it's still a journey that we have to like work hard to overcome with. And you have actually talented people like us, so like Elizabeth Bananuka with her blueprint, or Calder as well, Carmen Calder. So there's many different resources for people to be able to learn and apply those learnings. It's not only one random training session, it's actually putting the work and like getting a consultant to help you. So hopefully we will get there. But if you ask me, I'm gonna say no, and I will continue to say no until I see otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way it needs to be. Like it's good to acknowledge where things are at now so that we can actually make like systemic change.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes from within. Like at my agency, we actually have part of your SMART objectives are bringing in the diversity and so the D&I experience into the workplace through, if you are working on a campaign and you have to put talent forward, that slide needs to be diverse. If you are meeting journalists, you need to make sure that you meet like people also from The Voice and like all those publications that might be more targeted towards Black people, because they deserve to know what's happening and you deserve to know what is needed from them, from brands as well, to support them. So yeah, I think it's a work in progress, and it is important also to make sure that you don't only get the Black people from your team to fight your DNI war, because that's not part of my job. You should get someone that is specialized in it, put the funding behind it because you have it, and get them to actually help you to make your business or yourself more diverse if you are a freelancer. Hmm. Yeah.
I agree because as an individual that works a for a workplace, I guess you have your own perspectives, but that can't necessarily always speak for the whole of the population. And so it's nice to
Absolutely.
actually speak to those specialists who are trying to give a diverse view on diversity, you know, not just like one person's perspective on, oh, is this campaign okay? Is this right? Is this wrong? Like we need to be
Yeah.
asking like more questions and ask it to more people.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like it's important. It's important for me to give
Yeah.
my point of view. But yeah, at my agency, we actually have a solid D&I team. We work with people like us and other institutions like the UAL, for example, which we know is one of the universities with like more Black population in London, and like helping those alumni, the alumni, to like get the training, etc. But yeah, this is one agency out of I don't know how many there are in London, and I I'm not gonna say the name, but someone sent me a link the other day because they're gonna start at that agency soon. I checked through the about us, like meet the team section, and I was just scrolling, and scrolling and scrolling. And I think the only difference between them was that one was British and the other one was Italian. Maybe that was the difference. So yeah, I think there's a lot of work to be done. And I think after Black Lives Matter, like the George Floyd situation, yeah, we were all heavily involved in like yes, BLM and diversity to the to all the work to the workplace, etc. And I feel like 4 years later, well, five now, people have relaxed, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, fine, you are comfortable entering a room with people that just look white, and you feel that that's okay, or you're comfortable with your senior leadership team being solely white, and for you that's okay. Whereas there's a lot of black talented seniors in London looking for a job at the moment.
Do you have any advice for other brands and agencies? It sounds like the Romans is doing a lot of work in this area, but are there things that other brands and agencies need to be doing right away? Like, I guess maybe just not being so comfortable, not letting things slip back
Yeah,
to how
not
they were.
exactly. None of these things slip, and we literally this agent. If it's from a creator perspective, you have a lot of agencies that have black creators, so it's not that you can't find them. Yes, sometimes if you look for your standard like more popular agencies, it's pretty much maybe their roster is gonna be quite wide. But if you do the research and you do the work and you really want to be intentional with it, you can bring the diversity to the work that you do, and you can educate your clients as to why we need this. Because ultimately, we are their consultants. They know what they know. So part of your job is not only replying to the brief to get the fee, is replying to the brief to make an impact. Because that's the work that you're gonna be showing other people. Are you gonna be proud of this when everyone was white? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be.
Earlier this week, there was that campaign by American Eagle with Sydney Sweeney. I don't know if you've seen it,
I've
with
heard about it.
the Sydney's got good genes, and it's like the amount of commentary around it. I mean, people are arguing with themselves in the comments, but it kind of makes you think that when American Eagle put out that advert, they were aware of the controversy it would cause, but they still chose to do it. So is there now, are things like, especially in the US, are they actually kind of the tables turning on its head, and they're just like blatantly trying to, I guess, cause disruption by trying to celebrate whiteness like
Yeah,
above other races, like in that
yeah.
kind of way, not like, oh, we're all equal, this everyone's lovely. It's like actually like we're putting whiteness above others in a very like in a harmful way.
Yeah, well, that coming from America, with how America is at the moment, doesn't shock me at all. I actually even heard that this a state. I want to get the facts straight. So I'm not gonna say the state because I don't remember. But they are literally building a town that is to celebrate white
I've seen this, yeah,
purity.
yeah, that it's
Yeah,
a whites only town, and they're
yeah.
building their little wall around it. Yeah,
Yeah, so it really doesn't shock me. But yeah, it is. Well, I feel like in culture we've always had this thing where you celebrate whiteness and the white lifestyle because the white lifestyle only belongs to them. White lifestyle being, uh, I'm calling it that way because like it's connected to them, but like a softer life and like quality education and like access to
yeah,
luxury. Like right now, there's this polo campaign, well, the Ralph Lauren campaign. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it features like a black family wearing
yeah.
Ralph Lauren. Please, are we not allowed to wear Ralph Lauren? Like, what is the
Oh,
problem,
that people are upset about it.
mate?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Allow us to wear Ralph. It's fine because we do that too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's almost as if like anything that denotes to privilege, like that
yeah,
was for some reason now only connected to whiteness, when actually people from all different racial backgrounds can be privileged. There's always going to be people who are privileged and people who are less privileged regardless of your
yes.
race, but when it
Hmm.
comes to the media it's only seen through a certain lens, and so then
Exactly.
that's why there becomes this automatic link between like someone being like less privileged or ghetto and being black, when actually that's not true, that actually there's black people from a variety of backgrounds too.
Exactly. It works both ways. People just
Yeah,
refuse to believe that actually black people can have access to like a more elevated lifestyle or privilege, like you call it, because it's just that in their brain,
To me, it's ridiculous because the same people are like singing Beyonce, and we all know that Beyonce is like a billionaire or whatever. Like, come on.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
so obviously you can be black and very, very privileged, like she is, you know.
Just Beyonce and just Rihanna, and that's it.
So, what do you see as the biggest challenge right now across the industry, like across the PR industry? What's the biggest challenge that people need to tackle? Do you see it being diversity, or is it maybe to do with AI, or is it the fact that the influencer landscape is changing? Like, what is the
Yeah.
issue of the moment?
Uh, I mean, more than issue, I think it's like the topic to work on at the moment is educating brands more and more around the need for influencer budget because the impact that they make, we will always respect editorial and that has its audience and they're gonna still read, they're gonna read the Times print, they're gonna buy the newspaper, you're gonna read about the brand. But the impact that influencers have, I think it needs to be more bit more value, then there needs to be a bit more budget put towards that because we can make really good things with just a pool of influencers are that have really good engagement and create authentic content. It's just getting brands to be more risky with it. Not risky even, just like trust agencies to put budget on influencers and let them do the work.
And when it comes to working with influencers, what do you recommend? Like, I've seen there's been more of a push towards working with maybe smaller influencers, like whether that be like anyone who has like 100K followers down versus working with someone who has 1 million followers. Like, kind of
Yeah,
what are you seeing in your workplace?
I think it's all down to the stats. So another thing is making sure that you put all the resources in place to be able to analyze profiles, etc. Engagement changes every hour, if not every day. So one day you can have 5% of the engagement rate and that can change to 3%, but at least you know that that's within a range above the average, and that shows that the account, regardless of how big it is, has an audience that is engaging that they're actually gonna get the product. But yes, it is true that smaller creators sometimes tend to have a more engaging audience, and that is how you can make sure that the return of investment is there. They will buy the product, they will read about the brand, they will get familiarized with it. And there's people that have followers that are very, very loyal and they really trust their creator. And I said it before, but like Melissa's wardrobe is one of the best examples for it. Like everything that she does sells out. Everything that she posts organically sells out. And she has less than 500,000 followers. So she's more influential than someone that has 1 million followers and their engagement rate is 0.1%.
And what platforms are you most interested in? Is it like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat? Like, are brands putting work out across all three, or are they really focused on TikTok? Because I just keep on hearing more and more about TikTok, but as an aging millennial, like I just can't get myself off of Instagram. Like I do use TikTok, but I'm definitely on Instagram more, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it goes. People tend to use more Instagram, and from a commercial point of view, it's easier. You have stories, so you have stories where
Yeah.
you can pop links, and that link can direct to the
Yeah.
product. Like that is easier, and you have reels is easier as well. And I think we do TikTok as well, but it is likely that brands are just gonna continue pushing Instagram as a priority. And let's say we are working with 6 creators, perhaps 5 of them are gonna be pushing Instagram content, and one might do a TikTok because that also has a big audience. But the reason behind people prioritizing Instagram is because it's easier. And like I personally, as a consumer, oh my gosh, I tend to trust more the ads from Instagram. I'm not scared to order something from Instagram versus TikTok, but obviously we need to also acknowledge the fact that TikTok as a platform is growing and you have TikTok
Yeah.
shop, and I have friends that buy things from TikTok shop and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need this. So
Yeah.
well, I think TikTok, because you still have learning kind of like a relatively new platform. We're all learning, both as consumers and as brands, as to how to use it to create revenue and like to like put ads out with creators. But yeah, I think people are gonna continue to use Instagram more as a priority for that.
Oh, that's really interesting because I do feel like a lot of the creators I follow, I do see a lot of branded content on their Instagrams. But then when I'm on TikTok, I feel like the content that's relating to brands I more see from the brand's page. Like there's certain
Exactly.
brands that have really interesting accounts and the brand is getting on the trend as opposed to them getting paying for an influencer to do content that's getting on that trend.
Because I think TikTok is literally is full entertainment.
Yeah.
Sorry, they have the DM feature, but I only use that feature to literally send more TikToks. I don't chat to anyone on that feature, so
Yeah.
I think it's a platform in which you need to make sure that you get the right content to keep the viewer there. Because I am the type of viewer that if the first 5 seconds I'm not getting the tea, I'm scrolling up.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the platform in which perhaps brands are being more intentional with their content because of that reason, and they're actually doing a good job. Like Aces, I love all their content. Their arts, I'm there, I'm start. I'm like, yeah, I want to watch this. Or like Loewe, for example, I think their social team works overtime because they not only they hop on the trends, they see more the peculiar content and the peculiar creators and actually partner with them because they know that they're gonna actually become trendy. And the fact that they just do that, they see the vision and they trust those creators. Sometimes I've seen Loewe working with creators that started with like 10,000 followers and they're holding a Loewe bag in the next video and then that blows out. So it's the power of TikTok, I think,
Yeah.
and it's very important for brands to be more hands on the brands through either the social team or the agency, whatever, be more hands on there versus when you trust it a bit more on Instagram because the creators literally just put their content out and that's fine.
Thinking ahead now, like where do you hope to be a year from now?
Oh, here, more blessed. Yeah, more blessed. I for once, and I'm doing a work with my therapist on this, is acknowledging where we are and being grateful for where we are. So I think I would love for the situation to be this, obviously with some improvements. A little pay rise wouldn't be wrong, right? But yeah, I think I'm in a career point right now in which I'm just gonna enjoy what's happening, learn from what's about to happen, and just enjoy, like have a good time, continue to like network, meeting people like you, and just yeah, continue doing the work that I'm enjoying, basically.
Nice. And if people want to find you online, Chris, where is it best to find you on LinkedIn or somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as Chris Maho. I'm very present there, always yapping and making friends. So please reach out if you have any questions or you need anything, or if you just want to grab a coffee, a black straight matcha.
Definitely, yeah. That's one when Melissa was promoting her matches. That's when I first ever tried Bank Street. So that just shows how influential she really is. Like that got
Right?
me onto Blank Street.
There you go. We love her and we love Black Straight. They are so smart. Oh my gosh. Oh, love them.
Brilliant. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.